Decisions, decisions, decisions. They can be so challenging sometimes, can't they? But in theory, they should actually be the easiest things that we ever make. Why? Because either you want to do something or you don't. And on those rare occasions where we need to make a decision, it really doesn't matter what we decide. Because if that decision turns out to be something that it's not all cracked up to be, we can change our mind. So why are decisions so challenging sometimes? Because we get caught up in our head and we start rationalizing all the ways that it can go, and we can just as soon talk ourselves into something bad as we can talk ourselves into something good. And so even though we have this inner knowing of exactly what it is that we want to do, we can talk ourselves in or out of it. So the secret to decision making isn't so much about making mistakes, it's just how we handle those mistakes after we've made them. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you got married to somebody and you realize that it was a mistake. Well, if you stay in that marriage miserable for the next 15 years, that's just a bad decision. Or let's say that you have a job offer and between two places and you decide to take job B and you realize that it was a mistake because you really realized that job A was a better fit. That's a mistake. But staying in job B, wondering what might have been, is just really a bad decision. Or let's say that you got a little bit tipsy at a company party and you made a complete fool out of yourself and you just were completely mortified by your behavior. Well, that's a mistake, but a bad decision would be if you internalized that and made yourself a loser and not deserving of friends and not fit for society. So the important thing here is that whatever you decide, you know that you can always change your mind. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to help you make a decision today. Think for a moment something maybe you've been challenged with, that you have not been quite sure what to do. That maybe you know what to do in the moment, but then you talk yourself right in and out of that decision over and over and over again. So I have a coin right here, and what I'd like you to do is pick a side of the coin for one decision, which will be heads, and then pick the other side of the coin, which will be tails for the other decision. So pick a decision for each side of the coin, and then before we get started, I want you to commit that whatever side of coin this lands on, that you are going to abide by the decision of the universe, okay? And just for fun, before we get started, where is it that you hope the coin lands? Do you hope it lands on heads or do you hope it lands on tails? All right, here we go. It's heads. So, here's the moment of truth. So, it's not so much how the coin landed, as much as how did you feel when the coin was being flipped in the air, and then how did you feel when it actually landed on heads? Because that is the access point to your inner wisdom, letting you know what it is that you really want to do. And that gives you all the information that you need to know.